Alright guys, I'm gonna run down this real quick why this ain't running. This silo here, right here, it just topped off, so I got to move the truck and blow into the silo up there with the star on it. So I've been wanting to do this for a little while when it's not so noisy. Normally they're very busy in here, so I kind of want to give you a rundown of how things are with a truck that has a regular blower on it. I've seen a couple videos with people blowing the tanks off with using an electric compressor or blower, which usually has the air lines in the back of the trailer. Okay. So let me walk around the truck. I'll show you what the blower is. Here's the blower. This big gizmo right here, and it turns off your PTO. It blows air through this line right here. Oh, I'll go ahead and I'll stay on this side truck. It goes through that pipe there, I don't know if you can see it, and then it runs across this one here. And what it does, it blows air into the bottom of the trailer. You know, there on that pot, and on this pot, and on your back pot. And what that does, that aerates the trailer, or the cement, plus pressurizes the trailer. And also that same line is also split off right here. So this is your same air line that comes across here, and that's the line I showed you on the other side of the trailer going this way. But it also runs right here. And this is the valve that actually pushes your product through the product line. This is what you call your air. Now what these do is you can open this up and it puts air in the top of the trailer, which does us no good on hauling cement or any kind of stuff like that. Actually, I think it's good for plastics. And then this valve right here, which I'll open it up a little bit, you'll see. What that does is releases the pressure out of your tank. So what else goes on here is this. When you pressurize your tank to about 15 pounds like this here. Now on my trailer I got to unload a lot different than actually a lot of people do. I'm actually having trouble with my trailer. Build it up to 15 pounds. And then what I do, you open up your air, and then you open up your product, and that flows out the back here. Comes all the way back. It comes out of this here, your product hose, and runs up into the silo. And what you do as you're unloading, you watch these gauges here, and this pressure and this pressure should be about the same. If this pressure gets higher than this, that means you're starting to clog. And generally whenever this one here gets higher, this one here starts getting higher too when you're plugged up, which means that your product's not flowing at all. Generally, right there is about a good pressure, somewhere between 12 and 15 to run your trailer at. Now don't be confused, this gauge here has nothing to do with unloading the trailer. That's the air pressure for my air ride suspension, which helps you out. See, they got a weight chart there, which helps you out with your loading. And you also can kind of tell where you're at when you're unloading, because I only got a little bit in my middle pot, so, and it'll go down to about 10 pounds. That actually helps you out. You can kind of see where you're at when you're unloading. But anyway, what happens is when you're unloading, like right now, that silo is full, so I had to switch silos. But when I start back up, I'll open that back up, and then pressures will go out even. As them pressures start to fall off, that means I'm going empty. And then what I'll do is I'll go back through every pot and open it up and let the pressure fall down to 0. It'll build it back up to about 5-7 pounds, something like that, depending on where you're at and what you're doing. And you let it fall back off to 0. When it zeroes out, when you get that front pot, you leave your front pot open and your air all the way open. You turn the blower off. So that's kind of a quick rundown. I'll have to show you sometime, somewhere, but I will show you here real quick what I'm doing here. I need to get my gloves. So I'm going to unhook this hose right here, and I'm going to leave everything else hooked up, and I'm going to pull up front there to that, right there in front of that loader, and finish unloading my load. And also, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but this is one thing that's strongly recommended by me. I don't know about anybody else, but by me. I've been doing this I've been bulk tankers for about 10 or 11 years now. I've only been doing the pressurized tanks for probably about 5, maybe 6 years now. But this is a strong recommendation. When you ever pull a hose on, always scramble on it. Make sure there's no air trap in it. Make sure it flattens out, because if there's any pressure in there, you drop that off. That thing goes back into your head. You may be going for a ride in the hospital, and maybe you're taking your last ride for real. Alrighty, that's all I'm going to show for now. I'm just going to let that go. And actually, I'm just going to go ahead and close out for today, I think. And, well, let me see here. How much time I have left on this thing. So I got 40 minutes left on here. Alright, let's just leave this here and take you for a little ride, I guess. We'll watch the hose follow behind. Alrighty, we'll hook everything else back up here. I hope it reaches. I think it'll be all right. Alrighty. Pull out a little bit. Hose this connection. Folks, that's it. That's how it's done on these pneumatic tankers. Everybody have themselves a everybody has themselves a great evening, a great night. I got a lot of video and we'll break it down in segments and post them separately. So I hope y'all enjoy. I hope I got away from doing so much complaining today about trying to find other jobs and stuff. Trying to get away from that. I'm just trying to do the right thing here. That's all. Just being cautious. But anyway, everybody have themselves a good one. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Leave comments. Hopefully all good, but you know, whatever you feel, go ahead and leave what you feel.